Hello, Weekend Warriors. Welcome back to the workshop. I know it's been a while, but the work of the workshop never stops. As a matter of fact, besides the workshop, there's the 5-day-a-week job, and then there's the book signings. I've got a book on Amazon. It's called Fox Eyes. Christopher Lorelli is the author. It's a shameless plug, but it's my channel, so I can do shameless plugs. Anyway, but now that I'm back in the workshop and I've got your attention, I want to talk about something that screen printers have issues with, at least klutzy screen printers such as myself, and that is squeegee management. Keeping the parts of the squeegee that don't belong in the ink out of the ink. Now I've come up with a pretty simple system. It involves a 3D printer, and I'll show it to you right now. So hang on. Okay, printers like me that are using a line press or a pick press, however, whatever you want to call it. In my case, we call it the T-press. Okay, and I've talked about the T-press ad nauseum, so I won't go into all the details on that. One of the classic ways to manage your squeegee is to lay it in the well. But once again, since we handle our screens more than guys with the big professional rotary presses do, we often end up with our squeegee falling down into the ink. One of the things we might try is putting clips with a stick across it to hold the squeegee up a little bit better. And I did this for years with wooden versions of what you see right here, where blocks of wood and a piece of plywood were put on the outside, and then the dowel run through them. Even then, we do handle our screens more than the rotary guys do, and you know, I know that was an exaggeration, but it happens. We end up with the squeegee face down in the ink. Well, when I got my 3D printer, first thing I did was I made knobs for the print head on the instead of just using my ratchet and bolts. Then I took a look at those pieces of wood that I had with the dowel running through them and said, I can do better than that. And I came up with these clips. And there is an STL file that I will update the website where you can download these and print your own if you wish. These are sized for the screens I get from Gold Up USA. So, you know, be aware your screen width may be different than mine. And I did just the classic wooden stick through, like that. The dowel through. Now, let's use real terms, shall we? And, well, here recently, I'm normally a guy that does 2 colors at max, you know, like this one that I'm wearing. You can see Pinky and the Brain have red noses, so a little spot color, and that's it. Well, I was doing 5 different colors on several different color shirts. So for some of them I had underbase and everything. So I ended up with 8 screens, which is kind of why I've got the 8-screen tower on it. Actually, I've got 10-screen tower on it right now. And this is a whole nother story, which I'll talk about in another video probably in a couple of days. But let's talk about this first. Anyway, that design was quite a bit like this, where I had spot colors, 2 different spot colors on the same screen. And they're small and they're spaced wide apart, so there was no problem with using the screen for 2 different colors. You can see that I'm set up with tuners on both ends, so it was no problem getting registration or anything like that. But once again, if I just laid the squeegees in the well, I was running into problems. If I laid them sideways in the well, I was running into problems. You know, once again, I handle my screens a lot. If I just did a clip on the end, that kind of worked, but it didn't work as good as it could have. So if I put clips on both ends, once again, lifting up the squeegee, or lifting up the screen and stuff, they slid, and I ended up getting a lot of ink on my hands. Thankfully, I didn't get much that I didn't want on the shirt. So I looked at this and said, well, there's got to be a better way. And the better way I came up with was adding a 3D printed hanger onto the back of the squeegee. Now on this one I hot glued it in place. On this one it's just taped in place, and the tape works just fine. So let's get rid of these ones that don't have hangers on them. And then I was able to bring my squeegees to the side so they're out of my way, because the clip on the end kind of got into my way. If I moved it over, then I had to mask off more. If I just put it on the side there, though, I just had to mask off that spot, and I didn't run into any problems with squeegees moving or falling. Apply the same thing to the larger screen. So clips in place. The clip is on the back of the squeegee. Once again, you can tape it on. You don't have to glue it on like I did. And I'm going to lift this up a little bit so you can see that I don't have a problem with my squeegee falling into the ink anymore. It only goes where I want it to go, and you know, it might go side to side a little bit because that's just the way it's set up back there. I've got about an inch of play. But as far as my squeegee falling into the ink, did it just get dark or what? There we go. As far as my squeegee falling into the ink, that doesn't happen anymore. Now, once again, the STL files for printing will be available on the website for free, just like always. If you don't have access to a 3D printer and you still would like something like this, get hold of me, Uncle Chris 805@hotmail.com, and we'll talk about price, and I will make you a set of 4 and ship them on out to you. Other than that, that's all I got for today. Now, later in the week, we'll be talking about some improvements to the T-Press rotary station I got here, and we'll go on and do some other stuff, because it's fall, and fall is time for the workshop and videos. So, until I see you again, y'all keep up the good fight. Bye.